Good morning. Welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship and to our celebration of the UU Pagan holiday of Samhain, which, please try not to laugh, marks the summer's end. The end of the harvest and the beginning of winter. I am joined today by Kelly Loguadiche, who is not only our service leader today, but she will be guiding us along with Chris Rathwig, Carolyn Elliott, and me, Karen Griglak, she, her pronouns. Our music today is provided by Julie Morris on piano, and our hymn leader today is Amy Austin. And making sure that all of our Zoomies out there and all of you in here can hear and see us, we have Mary Stackpole, Scott Humans, and Deborah Dixon-Mensch. And of course, the most important people here this morning, you. For without you, there would be no beloved community. As I say our welcome words today, I want to invite those of you on Zoom to shift into gallery mode, which today, I imagine there's quite a few of you. And if you haven't done so already, scroll through those screens so that you can experience the beauty of this congregation. Those of you in person, as I read the welcome words, look around, open your hearts, and welcome everyone here. For you are all welcome here today in the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes and sizes that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In all of the ways that you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all of the ways that you make your living and the places that you are from, you are welcome here. With all of the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here today. No matter how long you are away, nor how soon it is until you will return, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with a curious spirit, a curious mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here, all of you, today. We acknowledge that this land that we are on is the stolen territory of the Arapaho people, and that many native peoples roamed freely on this land for millennia before the arrival of white settlers. If you are new here today, and I see a lot of lovely new faces, welcome. We are so glad that you found us, and we hope that in this community, whether you're with us in person or virtually, you can experience the warmth and the love of this congregation. Each Sunday is different here. It does not always look like this. And we do things a little differently regularly. So come back a few times to really get to know us. We have a lot of opportunities during the week for social connection and for spiritual growth. Those on Zoom are welcome to check out the links in the chat to help you get connected. And those of you in person are welcome to stop by the welcome table in the foyer after the service. Or if you'd rather, there's a QR code in most of the hymnals in front of you, and you're welcome to check us out that way. Everyone on Zoom is welcome to stay for casual conversation following the service. Or you are also welcome to attend our Inquirers series, which will start about 15 minutes following the service. If you are in person here today, you're welcome to coffee hour over in the fellowship hall, and we would love to see all of you and chat with you. If you're joining us on Zoom, please feel free to greet one another in the Zoom chat. And if you're a newcomer, let us know so that we can greet you. We like to know who's among us. And those of you in the sanctuary, I want you all to just take a minute, greet your neighbor, especially if it's someone you don't recognize. Hi.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Logedice, she, her pronouns, and your worship leader today. If you have a chalice at home, you can light it with me as Karen lights our fellowship chalice. So we know where all our chalices are. Please write in the chalice, chalice lit, and then the name of your town. Please say the words with me as we light our chalice. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. Come on up. Karen. One way of creating a sacred space is casting a circle. There are many ways to do this, and today we call on the directions and the elements. We are connecting with those forces of nature. As we light the candle for each direction, Chris will beat a buffalo drum to connect us to our heartbeat, the directions, and our ancestors. I invite you as we do this to rise in body or spirit and face each direction. And at the end of calling the direction, repeat the welcome to that direction. And at the very end, repeat the words, blessed be. May this circle be a protected meeting place of love and joy and truth. And we start with the east. Welcome the spirit of the east, the spirit of air, breezes that refresh us and stir the dancing leaves. Welcome east.
Welcome east.
Please, in body or spirit, face to your right and the south.
Welcome the spirit of the south, the spirit of fire, radiant warmth of bonfires that inflame and empower our harvest desires. Welcome south.
Welcome south.
Please, in body and spirit, face your right and the west.
Welcome the spirit of the west, the spirit of water, the patter of raindrops that soothes our hearts and quenches our thirst, or the quiet landing of snowflakes. Welcome west.
Welcome west. Oh, north. West. I'm having an issue.
Please, in body or spirit, face to your right and the north.
Welcome the spirit of the north, the spirit of earth, rich fields of plenty that nourish our bodies, and the fertile earth that grounds us and nurtures hope. Welcome north.
Welcome north.
Please, in body or spirit, face to your right.
Asking spirits, ancestors, and wise beings of light to surround us and lend us all support today. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Please be seated. Now I'm going to sing our bowl again, inviting it to draw you deeper into this present moment and into this beloved community.
Samhain means summer's end, marking the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter, and the winter goddess is working her magic today for sure. It's also called All Hallows Eve and is celebrated on October 31st through November 1st. As those squirrels busily gather nuts and bears gorge on berries, preparing for the darker days of winter, we celebrate the bountiful harvest of squashes and root vegetables, and we store away those frozen peaches and canned tomatoes to sustain us in the cold months ahead. And we were surrounded by the gorgeous color of the leaves, and now a white blanket of snow. It is a time to celebrate the abundance of the harvest and to honor the darkness with deep reflection and connection to our inner wisdom as we are preparing for the dormancy of winter. Samhain is when beginnings and endings meet. Carolyn McCullough in the book Once a Witch says, quote, "The night of Samhain is when the barrier between the worlds is whisper thin, and when magic, old magic, sings its heady and sweet song to anyone who cares to hear it." Unquote. Since the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is thin at Samhain, it is a good time to honor the wisdom of our ancestors and to ask for blessing from fairies who love our Mary, Mother Earth and Mary Earth. So let the old magic sing its sweet song to us. As we sing this next hymn, we acknowledge the binary language in it and the diversity of gender identities among us. So let us lift up all those roles of mother, father, parent, brother, sister, sibling, regardless of their gender.
The song we're going to sing together is in the teal hymnal, which you can find in front of you or maybe on the floor on a seat. It's number 1067, Mother Earth, Beloved Garden. We are going to sing all of the verses, and I want you to notice that verse 4 and 5 are over here. So when you're looking for those verses, that's where they'll be. All right, please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing. Mother Earth, beloved garden, living treasure underfoot, all our days you ground our being, sage and thistle, grass and root, herbs to heal us, plants to feed us, land to tell, to plant, to plow, with the pen and deep the cloud, with a blade as sharp as morning east. We ask you be here now. Brother fire, great transformer, share the passion of the sun. In our hearts our warmth revives us, cooks our food and heals our homes. Flaming candle blood within us, blazing desert will too grow. With the one directing power, doth we ask you be here now. Sister water ever flowing, ocean, river, pond, and rain, drink we now and quench our thirsting, cleanse us, we begin again. Mist and ice, our host of changes, all that courage will allow. With the cup, the holy chalice, west, we ask you, be here now. Love, a spirit, intuition, in the center of our souls. The North love, we find relation, all connected, we are whole. This mystery, quiet conscience, deepest values voice inside. With a drum and with a cauldron, this we ask you, be our guide.
I want to thank our littlest dancer.
I'm Carolyn Elliott, she, her, hers pronouns. On our altar, the spirit of the north represents the element of earth, with colors of green and brown, with a green serpentine stone and green malachite and fluorite crystals. As we celebrate Samhain and the cycle of the seasons, we are respecting our connections to the earth and its rhythms, just as our Unitarian Universalist seventh principle calls us to respect the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. The covenant of Unitarian Universalist pagans, also known as CUPs, was started in 1987 for pagan-identified UUs to encourage spiritual perspectives based on earth and nature-centered rituals. Pagans believe that nature is sacred and that the natural cycles of birth, growth, and death observed in the world around us carry profoundly spiritual meanings. Human beings are seen as part of nature, along with other animals, trees, stones, plants, and everything else that is of this earth, Mother Earth. These nature-centered rituals remind us of our heritage from our natural world and connections to the cycle of seasons. By slowing down and honoring these rhythms, we give ourselves a chance to listen to the lessons of our earth, Mother Earth. Earth gives us the gift of a bountiful harvest, and we can store away for winter. Take a moment to think of what ways you have bounty or abundance in your life today. In what ways can you squirrel away that abundance to sustain you later? Mother Earth supports us, giving us the gift of strength during trying times. Take a moment and think of standing on a mountaintop and feeling all that stable rock underneath you. Or think of leaning on a sturdy tree trunk and connecting with those deep roots. Roots remind us of the support we always have from Mother Earth and the support we have in each other and this congregation. What or who helps you feel rooted and supported? And these are the blessings from Mother Earth.
On our altar, the spirit of water represents the spirit of the West represents the element of water, with the colors of the ocean, dark and light blue, with sea cells and sea glass, and dark blue lapis lazuli, and light blue apatite crystals. Water represents flexibility and flow. Rivers flow with ease and with strength around obstacles, creating new pathways when necessary. Yoga and stretching lubricates your joints with synovial fluid, a form of water, allowing increased movement. Water reminds us to bring flexibility in times of change and to look toward new paths forward. Think of how you can bring more flow and flexibility into your life. Water reminds us to take time to pause and refresh ourselves. Just think of children splashing in the water and giggling with joy. Take a moment and think of a joyful time you had in water or anywhere in nature, and relish in the details of that moment. How can you bring more play and joy into your life? Water also reminds us of the deep, dark depths of the ocean, and honoring darkness is one of the themes of Samhain. One who would understand light must also understand darkness. From the Druidic perspective, darkness means peace, a time to drink from the cauldron of knowledge, and space to reflect on internal transformation and prepare for the changes and transitions of life. What is one way that you can embrace the gifts of the dark? These are the blessings we receive from water.
I am Chris Rathwig, he, him pronouns. On our altar, the spirit of the South represents the element of fire, with the colors of red and orange, with a lava rock, and orange carnelian, and sunstone crystals. The drum was last used to create ceremony for the October 14th Ring of Fire eclipse. Such drumming has been used for ceremony by our ancestors back through millennia. Perhaps you can feel that connection. The element of fire is warmth and the coziness of loving community, the warmth of a group campfire during the summer's fellowship camping trip, sharing stories and s'mores, the connections made with our neighborhood groups, the way hospitality cares for us every week, from greeting us with smiles and providing us nourishment. The deep sharing in our covenant groups, the many ways we support those in grief and those who are struggling, and of course, celebrating together the delights of life. What brings you warmth today? Fire represents creativity, from artistic endeavors like the amazing tile mosaic that Robin created for us outside our doors to our fellowship, to our history tree banner created by Gwen and the youth, from the moving poetry created for our poetry service each year to the beautiful altars created by our aesthetics team each month, and even to the imaginative way Loop is building community in Longmont. In what ways are you being creative in your life? Fire sparks the energy of action, igniting our courage to speak out. Here at the fellowship, our fiery passion for social justice burns strong, supporting issues from immigration to climate change, mental health, to LGBTQIA2 Spirit Plus concerns, and more. And that light burned so brightly recently when we collected 140 guns for the Guns to Garden project. What are the social justice issues that spark your fire? How can you take action to support those causes? Those are the blessings from fire.
On our altar, the spirit of the East represents the element of air, with the colors of yellow and white, with feathers and a yellow jasper crystal. Air reminds us of the importance of breath. Breathing brings oxygen to our cells. Focusing on breathing, on breath, allows us to slow down, connect with our bodies, and use our voice. Let's take a moment now to take a few slow, deep breaths. Feeling your belly and ribs and chest expand with each breath. And on the out breath, sigh out the worries of the day. The element of air reminds us to see a new perspective or look at the big picture. Think of the saying, breath of fresh air. Think of the smell of mountain air and the clean smell of pine forests, and just how that scent can change your mood. As a hawk glides on the wind currents high above, they observe the way ahead, gently and easily changing direction when needed. Is there a situation in your life that needs a higher view or a new perspective? And the element of air reminds us of the wings of garden fairies. Fairies are intermediaries between the human and natural worlds, reminding us of the importance of respecting and nurturing our environment. And fairies give blessings to those of us who care for the earth, who protect and preserve the planet for our future generations. In what ways are you pleasing the fairies by caring for our planet? These are the blessings from air.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance that we have in our lives and in this community by giving half of our plate away to those organizations that share our values. Today, the half plate is for the UU Ministry for the Earth, which provides education and inspiration for justice and care of our Earth while confronting the impact of white supremacy and colonialism. UU Ministry for the Earth also supports the People versus Fossil Fuels campaign to end the era of fossil fuels. You can text your donation at the number on the screen, or if you're in the fellowship today, place a donation in the offering plate as it passes. Please give generously as you so often do. As our musical reflection begins, we invite you to reflect upon and write into the chat, if you're on Zoom, your answer to this question. What are the gifts that nature and the four elements have for you today? for the work of this fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to this world, and for the work of UU Ministry for the Earth, we dedicate these offerings.
So many times I hear the phrase, "You must honor your ancestors." But that creates difficulty for those of us who come from an unforgiving and unwelcome background. Just as many of us have had to find a chosen family, I believe you can choose your ancestors. Ralph Ellison says, quote, "Some people are your relatives, but others are your ancestors, and you choose the ones you want as ancestors. You create yourself out of those values." Unquote. Like for me, I have a German background, and I choose to view the mystic Hildegard von Bingen as my ancestor. Another perspective comes from Adrienne Marie Brown, who says, quote, "There are in my lineage ancestors for whom I'm likely their worst nightmare. A black, queer, pansexual, polycurious, unmarried, childless, defiant, feminist, post-capitalist earth lover. I know there are ancestors who would feel they had failed in their work because I exist. I honor those ancestors who lived in a time of less knowing, less connectedness, and less possibility. I have to honor that their lives are crucial to my callings. I pass my current experiences of freedom and delight back to the ancestors who did not have access to rest or agency over their time. I pass my current experiences of self-love and radical self-acceptance back to my ancestors who thought they could only belong through some version of destruction of themselves or others." Unquote. Yeah, she's pretty amazing. Adrienne Marie Brown. So let's take a few minutes now during this time of Samhain, this time of that thin veil between the physical and spiritual world, to connect with our ancestors, whether from our birth heritage or our claimed heritage. As Julie plays, let's send and receive those ancestors' blessings.
In most pagan traditions, we try to get outside to smell the changes in the air and to see the changes taking place in the earth that sustains us, and to feel in our bodies those cycles that keep turning. Sometimes it isn't practical or possible to go outside, so I'll try to feel those changes in our bodies. So I'm going to invite all of you to rise in body or in spirit and join me in a embodied meditation. So I want you all to think back to summer, to how full the trees were, how tall the sunflowers and the corn stalks were, how full the cattails and the tall grasses were. And I want you to pick your favorite growing thing, and I want you to become it. I want you to take a few deep breaths as you imagine, close your eyes as you desire, and if you are a tree, spread those big branches out. Let the leaves get big. If you are a sunflower, stand tall. Let that sun hit you on that big sunflower face. Stand tall as a corn stalk and let that corn grow. Pick what works for you. Be big, become it. Spread your branches fully. Feel free to sway in the breeze, imagining how you look in your vibrant greens and your bright colors. Breathe in the air and the greenness that comes after a summer thunderstorm. And enjoy it for a moment. And be big and proud. And now we are going to fast forward to October. And I want you to imagine those changes that you are now going through. Your fruits and your vegetables have been plucked from you, and you are slowly succumbing to the cold, shriveling a little, growing a little closer to the ground. If you're a cattail, you have gone full and puffy, and you sway more in the breeze as your stem goes softer. Sunflowers, you have lost your seeds, most of your petals, and your heads and your leaves are drooping. Those tall grasses are falling a little closer to the ground. Trees, you shiver as your sap goes deeper inside and lower down to protect you. Dropping your leaves as you do, you are still tall, but not so full, and you settle in. As you drop those leaves, what can you leave behind? Is it banishing fears, old habits, things that you've struggled with? The air no longer smells green. It smells slightly musty as the leaves on the ground begin to break down, and there is a faint or not so faint hint of snow in the air. What does this time feel like for you? Exciting, busy, depressed, dark, dreary, contracted, or open? Let your body move and express that time of year for you. Let us not be afraid of the dark of winter ahead, and instead let us give light and strength for reflection. Imagine as you hibernate for the winter, it is a chance to reflect, for restoration, to pause, and let the seeds of your life germinate before the growth of spring. What can you reflect on, or what seeds can you germinate during this time of winter? I want you to leave these imaginings and return to the room. Continue to breathe. You are welcome to be seated. And remember that we are all part of this turning wheel, all together. Blessed be.
Thanks, Karen. And now I invite us into our time of community connection, our time of sacred sharing. Please add one last stone for any joys and concerns that remain in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, knowing that even in our silence, we are bound together in the web of life. Dear ones, as May Sarton says, help us to be the always hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth. As without light, nothing flowers. As we sing this next hymn gathered here, let those words remind you of the strength of this community. And let us send our prayers and love out to the world.
Our last hymn today is in your gray hymnal. It's number 389, Gathered Here. We often sing this in a round, but today we're not going to do that. Today we're going to sing this through 3 times. First time we'll sing it full voice, and the second time very quietly, and then back to full voice. Would you please arise in body or spirit? Again, number 389 in the gray hymnal. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
I hate to do this after your all's lovely singing, but we come to the business portion of our service, the announcements. Our Inquirer series today is going to have Kitty leading you in discussing programs for the children and youth. And if you are interested in learning more, please meet back here in the sanctuary about 15 minutes after the service. or 11:30-ish. Keep poking your head in after you grab your cup of coffee. Next week's Inquirer series will be about our Worship and Arts Council and how all of this happens. For those of you who were hoping to make paper flowers after the service today, I have been informed that thanks to everybody's hard work, they already have enough flowers. So what are all of these paper flowers for? Well, for the upcoming Dia de los Muertos celebrations, one of which is being held here on Thursday, November 2nd, from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. There will be dancers, youth musicians. They're hoping a mariachi band, face painting with our lovely Ari Atarka. Community members are welcome to arrive between 5 and 6 and stay until 9. But, 6 to 8. There will be yummy holiday treats and a whole lot of fun. On Sunday, November 12th, your Committee on Shared Ministries members invite you for a casual conversation and a meet and greet following our service in the Mountain View Room. Please take this opportunity to introduce yourselves and discuss how COSA might support you and the leadership in this time of transition for our community. And Scott will have an auction item that he would like to share with you. But before that, I was giving you a minute to come running up. We were hoping to be able to make little fairy cottages and things like that outside, but Mother Nature had other plans, so if you were interested in that, we'll do it next week, where it should be back in the 60s, because Colorado.
The auction is 1 week away. And I'm so excited to welcome all of you to the fellowship auction on Saturday the 4th from 5 to 8 p.m. The online auction will begin later this afternoon. We're going through the items, making sure they're all entered correctly, and we're setting some aside for the live auction on the 4th. So there's a link on the homepage that will take you there, and we still need some volunteers for food and beverages and general support on the night of. So thank you so much.
Now is the time when we release our circle and our directions. We release our directions in the reverse order that we called them in. And I invite you to rise in body or spirit and face each direction. And at the end of the direction, repeat the words, "Blessed be." So first, we're just going to thank the spirits, ancestors, and wise beings of light for their love and support today. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Spirits of the north, of fertile earth that support and nourish us.
Hang on. Please turn in body or spirit and face your left to the north.
Oops.
There we go. We're excited.
Spirits of the north, of fertile earth that support and nourish us, we thank you for your presence. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Please, in body or spirit, face to your left and the west.
Spirits of the west, of water that hydrate and soothe us, we thank you for your presence. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Please look to your left and the south.
Spirit of the South, of fire that warm and empower us, we thank you for your presence. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Please, in body or spirit, face to your left and the east.
Spirits of the east, of air that refresh us and help leaves dance, we thank you for your presence. Stay if you will, go if you must. Blessed be. Blessed be. Please join me as we say the extinguishing words together. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Such gratitude to Karen, Carolyn, Chris, and Julie and Amy for our music, and to our AV team, Mary, Scott, and Deborah. I invite you all to join hands, link arms, or cross your arms if you prefer not to be touched today. May the circle be open but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Blessed be.